Hey everybody, it's Aldo Gandhi, and I just want to let you know really quickly that our swag shop is reopened. DeepDishTees.com is where you go, and that's tees with T-E-E-S. Clever name, guys. They're the new home of our merchandise. You can get t-shirts, you can get caps, you can get coffee mugs, you can get hoodies, you can get all sorts of good stuff, and you'll help out the bar room with the purchase. So head over to DeepDishTees.com.
You're listening to the Ballroom Network. The following program is intended for all audiences. Welcome to the South Burbs Hitmen podcast with your hosts, Joe Mandel, Steven Zim Zimmerman, Vinny Parisi, and Chris Gonzalez. We're bringing you the White Sox coverage you need from the perspective of true Southsiders. Grab your Comiskey dog with an ice cold beer and meet us in section 155. Everyone get on your feet for your 2021 South Burbs Hitmen.
That ball hit deep. Way back. You can put it on the board. Yes. Jimenez in the air. Left field. He's your hero tonight. Thanks, Cubs. Over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws. Out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Alexei! Yes! 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 History! A perfect game by Mark Burley, and what an unbelievable play by Dwayne Wise.
First pitch starts now. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the South Burbs Hitmen podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Mandel, and I'm joined by my White Sox brother-in-arms. I'm talking about Vinny Parisi, Chris Gonzalez, and the soon-to-be joining us, Steven Zim Zimmerman. Vinny and Chris, what's going on, boys? Vinny, we'll start with you.
I'm doing fantastic. Eloy Jimenez just hit another home run, so it is now
He's
7.
on fire.
He's on absolute fire. Thanks, Cubs.
Thanks,
when Eloy hits home runs, Vinny's happy. So we're all good in the hood. How are you guys?
Doing great, man. Chris Gonzalez, what's going on, buddy? You're on mute, but what's happening?
What up, gents? I'm just happy that the boys swept through Wrigleyville, and I'm absolutely feeling dangerous tonight. And watching Eloy, Eloy's just as dangerous, and I'm not scared of the Twins anymore. That's for sure.
Yeah, I wish I would have bet the over tonight. I bet it yesterday. I bet it on Friday. I should have known better. But hey, it is what it is. This team is all guns a-blazing, and guys, big shot in the arm today for this lineup. Luis Robert is back with the squad. Of course, Gavin Sheets got sent down to AAA, but I'm pretty sure we'll see him called back up in September. Just got to say, Vinny, what kind of shot in the arm does Luis Robert give this team? And, how soon can we see him back to his normal self?
Yeah, I think you're going to see it relatively quickly. I don't think it's going to take as many at-bats as it did for someone like Eloy. He's also going to mostly play center field, so it's not going to be that DH adjustment or anything like that. But, I mean, whatever you need a shot in the arm with, Luis Robert will give it to you. He plays elite defensive center field. He can run, as we saw in his first at-bat. He could take advantage of a miscue on a pop-up or something. He can steal bases. He's got power. He can hit for contact. A legitimate elite 5-tool player that the White Sox have never really seen someone like him before, at least in any of our lifetimes. And it's just crazy that like a team that's that far ahead of everyone else in the division is getting a guy like that 2 weeks after getting someone who could legit hit 50 home runs in a regular season. So,
yeah, I think it's a huge shot in the arm for this team. And, look at Eloy finally starting to get his things back together. And here we are, coming back strong, going to build this division lead heading into this big series this week against the Yankees. And Steven Zim Zimmerman is with us. Zim, first off, how you doing? And second, we have a guest coming on just momentarily. But how you doing, Zim?
Doing great. I know I wasn't here last week, but I'm back. The sunshine is not, but for those of you who don't know, I'm in the Denver area, and we have some real haze happening right now, and it's really messing with a lot of people. So, to everybody out here, stay safe, stay inside, man.
There you go, man. That's what you got to do. But without further ado, guys, we do have a special guest in the house, friend of the show, returning for the second time. Alyssa Bergamini is in the house. Of course, you know her as the stadium host at, Guaranteed Rate Field. You see her at every single game. Alyssa, thank you so much for coming back on with us.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I think last time I was on, we also were winning the game as we were chatting, and now we're up 7-0. So maybe this is a good luck thing.
Yeah, if that's the case, then we got to have you on every week. But
there's all the games.
They'll at least win
right.
every Monday that way.
Every Monday. We can take that. Sounds like a good stat to me. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, you've had a busy year. You got back to the ballpark. Things are kind of getting back to normal to a certain extent. And,
yes.
We just finished off a 3-game sweep of the Cubs last night. Kind of what were your takeaways from that series? And, I know you were critical on Twitter so was I, of A-Rod's comments about the White Sox. So I have to get your thoughts on that.
I tweeted that, and then all of a sudden that blew up, and I'm like, maybe I should not have said that. But I just think that he is very one-sided. Anytime we're on his broadcast, I don't really feel like he knows the nature of the White Sox. I don't truly think he understands the fan base. I'm not totally putting him down, but he just was saying certain things that I don't feel like White Sox Nation as a whole really agreed with. What did you tweet out that I said I agreed? I'm drawing a blank right here.
I just said from the second he came on the air, he criticized the White Sox.
Right.
And all he said was that they only beat bad teams.
Yes, that just off the top set me off. I was like, that's kind of insulting to us. Like, we're not just beating bad teams. We are 10.5 games above in the, AL Central. We just swept the Cubs. Of course, they're not the Cubs who they used to be. But yeah, it was like a compliment with an insult. So I wasn't too fond of it. And I think I'm just biased, and I love listening to Jason and Steve Stone.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things where if you're a good team, you got to beat the bad teams anyway. So we're doing what we have to do to move forward.
Yeah.
But speaking of good teams, we get the Field of Dreams game is coming up this week, Thursday night. Yeah. And I have to ask you, first off, have you seen the movie, and are you looking forward to the game?
I've been looking forward to this game. I remember when it was announced 2 summers ago at this point. It was maybe around August. I went to University of Iowa. It was my senior year. It was a Baseball in America class, and majority of the class assignment was about the Black Sox scandal, Field of Dreams. So it was one of those classes that I don't want to say it was easy, but easier, but I also really loved it. So, really dissected that whole movie. And then when I found out that we were going to be playing there, I was like, this is amazing. Went to school at Iowa. This is my team. It's so great. They're playing against the Yankees. I am not going to be there, unfortunately. I was supposed to actually work with Fox, and then they told me that I lived too far away, but I don't really know who lives in Dyersville, Iowa. So I'm going to let that one go for now. But I am excited because a lot of front office members from the White Sox and 4 members from the Pride Crew, they will be working the game. So I'm so excited for them, and to be representing us well. So yeah, a little bit of Pride Crew action there, some t-shirt tossing. So if anyone is going to the game, I'm sure maybe you'll get a t-shirt because there's less fans in the stand, so you have a better chance.
Yeah, so not a lot of seats to begin with.
Right. Are any of you going? I should ask.
I'm not. I wish. I'll be watching it on TV. I had to buy my hat, and that's all I got so far.
I love it. I know everyone, I think, wants to go, but I also have to say, again, love Iowa. I was just down in Iowa City this past weekend. The drive there is not fun. It is corn upon corn upon corn. Did that enough when I was going to school there. So I don't know if I wanted to make that quick turnaround anyways, but I know I'm going to have FOMO when I'm not there on Thursday. But I'll just be watching on TV, just like everyone else, listening to the broadcast. And
that's right.
It's just as enjoyable.
And then you get them. Then you go ahead, Gonzo.
I was gonna say 3-hour drive on 80 West isn't fun. I drove to Western Illinois for college, and it wasn't fun. So I believe in you.
Yeah, it's one of those you want it to. It's pretty. It's there's really just flat land, but and I know that people that are going to the game via White Sox, they have to stay an hour away from actual Field of Dreams. So it's going to be fun for everyone, but also a journey.
Yeah,
definitely going to be a journey. I think we're all a little jealous for sure.
Yeah.
But you have a big weekend coming up with the Yankees coming to town.
Yeah.
Of course they're coming in, and there's an impressive amount of promotions that are going to be coming up at the ballpark starting this weekend with the game Saturday, where the stadium's giving away that 1919 throwback jersey.
Yeah.
What other kind of promos are you looking forward to the rest of the season? I know 90s night's coming up.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of fun stuff. So I got to get what you're looking forward to, especially, being the stadium host.
You know them all. Yeah. So like you mentioned, Saturday, it's the first 20,000 fans. You get that 1990 jersey. And people always, now the stadium is pretty packed. So if you really do want these promotions, you do have to get there early. I know it's been a little bit more difficult to come in because, like I mentioned, I think everyone is, the parking lots are a little bit more full, but I want people to get the promotions if you really do want it. So get there as soon as you can, stand in those lines, get the cool promotions we have. I do believe Sunday, Family Sunday. I do know Justin Fields is throwing out the first pitch. So
yes,
we'll be there. Vinny and I will be there. Yes,
very important.
You got to see that. So sure, he'll be throwing some heat, even if it's on the baseball field. I do believe for that, also giving away some Topps baseball cards, but I don't think that's limited to a certain amount of fans. So we'll be getting those. As you mentioned, Joe, 90s night. So that's fun. Like, I love all of our promotions. You kind of get to dip back into, what certain people grew up with. So it's always fun to dress up with those. 90s night. I'm drawing a blank now. What else? I know there is Hispanic Heritage Night, and that is the Sugar Skull bobbleheads. So everyone loves
That's a really cool bobblehead. Yeah.
I'm going to add it to my collection, also with my action figure up there. So I feel like we've been doing really good about the promotions, despite the fact that, it wasn't full capacity early on. But now it's just like, hey, you guys come to the game. You get this, you get that. I know there's a puffy vest more towards September. Those are always cool. A hoodie. And the 312 hat, I know, is the last game of the season, which is Fan Appreciation Day, the last regular game of the season, I should say. Mm-hmm. As long as, I know we usually do a lot of other giveaways. So that's always a fun game that I tell fans to go to because there's a lot of giveaways. So that's towards the end of the season. Hopefully not the last game, and I don't think it will be.
Yeah, especially with this 10-game lead that keeps on building and with the team crushing the way they are.
Yes.
But I'm going to go ahead and toss you over to Vinny Parisi, who wasn't here last time. He's our new addition. So, Vinny, I'll let you take things away with Alyssa.
Alyssa, thank you so much for coming on, first of all.
Of course.
Yeah, like he said, I wasn't here last time, so it's nice to officially meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah. I know we're Twitter friends.
Yeah, absolutely. So you brought up all those cool promotions and the themes that go on around the ballpark. Mm-hmm. I was wondering from a personal standpoint, which one's your favorite? You got Star Wars night, 90s night. I've been to Game of Thrones night once or twice.
Yes.
Which one does Alyssa like the most?
It's a great question. I do love the ones that we have firework night, the fireworks, on Friday nights. I had so much fun at Elvis night this past season, and I always love the promotions. You guys can see I go kind of all out when it's oh, this is Elvis night. I'm I'm going to just buy anything on Amazon that's Elvis, and I'm going to wear that. So for me, love, the Friday night fireworks. I'm reading the comments on the bottom just because sometimes I miss them and I love them. Oh yeah. See, Travis, he gets it. You get to the ballpark early, you get the giveaways. I'm trying to think what else. I love, like I was mentioning, the last game of the season. It's just so fun for everyone to be there, and anything that's any type of a giveaway, and I get to see people wearing them. Even those basketball jerseys that were sponsored by NBC Sports Chicago, I see people everywhere wearing those, and I love to see that.
Those were cool.
Yeah. So really any of the theme nights, halfway to St. Patrick's Day, that's another one that is coming up in, I believe, September. And you do get those steins. and those are cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Everyone loves those. So, Vinny, I don't know if I even gave you the best answer, but just going into this year, Elvis night, that was fun for me.
Yeah, and it was a crazy game too. Like they gave up the lead and then they came back, and that was a fun one for sure.
Yes, and it was so packed. I mean, you guys, these games this season, it has been wild. Everyone is just on the concourse, enjoying themselves, having the best time of their life. And not that that wasn't the case before, but it's such a different energy now. I mean, I can't even get to certain spots sometimes. I'm like, I have to cut through a different way now, because all you people are having so much fun out there eating and drinking. So it's been fun. I'm always exhausted after the games. I'm like, well, I guess I was just running around the whole MLB stadium, but it's been fun to, see everyone again too, especially after last year. I'm happy to see everyone back.
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question, actually. Like, just how much more fun is it now that the team's in first place? They're good for the first time in a long time, and you get to be a part of that, hosting everything. How much more fun has it been to do that job now that the stadium's as full as it is regularly? Right,
and I always kind of joke with everyone. I was like, I really liked this job when we were not good, and now that we're good, it's just insane. Like, I just have this natural energy there. So this is my 9th season within the White Sox organization. I started on the Pride crew when I was at University of Iowa. So in terms of hosting, this is my 4th year hosting. So every year just gets more fun. And my goal has always been, I just need to work a playoff game. Even last year, like when they were in the wild card games, I was like, oh, this better happen again next year. Not even wild card, just being a playoff game. So it has been just such an enjoyable season. Everyone is just happy, as I mentioned, even if there's not a great game happening that night. It just is so different from, whether it's the employees or the fans. And again, maybe you're mad that you're outside in the parking lot and you can't get a good spot, but once you're in, I feel like everyone just lets that go and it's nice. It's a part. Baseball games are fun too, because it's just, you can get away from the normal struggles of life and, get away from all the craziness.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a lot of fun just to be in that ballpark, and you can tell that the energy's up a lot. And so when you're someone like me watching from the stands and I see you interact with kids and their parents and just random people who like are in town visiting, and you could tell like it's their first game or something, does something like that, or is there something else that sticks out that you would call your favorite part of your job?
Oh, I'm so happy that we have contestants back. I just had a fan of the game recently. That's one of our new promotions. Simply just picking out someone who looks like they love the White Sox, is happy to be there, deserves the attention up on the big, center field video board. And I just had a fan recently. His name was Carl from Carol's Stream, and his wife was live tweeting the whole thing. She was like, everyone, 5th inning, middle of the 5th inning, I need everyone who's at the game to direct your attention to the center field video board. And I didn't see those tweets until later on. And she, complimented me and said, like, Alyssa was like so nice, so cool. And it was such a good experience for us. So even if it's someone just on the big screen for 10 to 15 seconds and they wanted to do that for a while, I just love that. And I love, talking with the contestants beforehand. It's not just like we pick people and then all of a sudden they're there. I want to get to know them. It's nice to just know where people are from. Maybe we have mutual friends. So I love being with the contestants. And as you mentioned, if it's someone's first game, I make sure that they know, oh, go here, go in section 154. You can get the certificate, your very first game. I wish I remembered my first White Sox game. I absolutely do not. But it's one of those things. I don't think they had those certificates then, but I would love to, have something like that now. So, whether it's someone's first game or their 100th game, I just want to make the experience enjoyable for everyone and enhance the overall, baseball game for them.
Yeah, for sure. I love that answer. I would love to know what my first game was. I don't even know.
Right?
Like a small child for sure. Like,
yes,
wasn't around.
Yes. I mean, I see pictures, and I know when I was little, my, parents would take me there, but I was more intrigued by the Dippin' Dots or, what I was eating. I was probably 1 or 2, you're not really paying attention to the game at all. So I'm happy that people are able to remember that with their little ones now.
Absolutely. I'm going to hand it over to Zim. I know he's got some great questions for you.
Okay.
Oh, great is a relative term. I think you had some pretty great questions.
You up here,
They're all great questions.
No, that's awesome. Like, I love hearing you guys talk about the ballpark. Like, I'm in Denver and I don't get out that way very often. So I'm actually getting ready to go to my second Sox game ever at US or Guaranteed Rate now. I went to US Cellular before. Now I'm going to Guaranteed Rate. So
We're changing all the time, as you know.
yeah, no, it changes out here too. Like, it's weird. Our Pepsi Center just changed for the first time in forever. And it's like, you got to get used to it. It's still Comiskey Park, right?
Man.
So, all right. Well, speaking of comebacks, like I'm about to do, Luis Robert is making his comeback tonight. I don't know if you've got the game on again.
Oh, I do. I was trying to not be rude and check the score, but I see it.
I know.
So we're good. We're still in a safe space here.
I've given up on rudeness at this point. It's off to the side of the camera here, and But what do you want to see from him the rest of this season? And like, how badly do you think the team as a whole missed him while he was out?
I mean, you guys see just Eloy coming back. He's just a monster right now. So I just feel like Luis is just going to follow suit. And I don't know about you guys, but all of a sudden there's this extra spark with this team. And it's like one by one, they're each coming back. I know we went through the struggle of a lot of them being injured and it sucked at the time. I know Luis got hurt. It was May 2nd. So that's like very beginning of the season pretty much. And it's one of those things you're like, oh, I never thought that day would come where he's back in the lineup, but here we are. So I just feel like they all have been so excited to come back. And he even said today, he feels like this is his first major league game, even though he's played before and, with the White Sox. So I think it's probably, they had that time off to get healthy, reflect, and now they have a, spark under them. And here we are in August, dog days of summer are happening. I really hope we're all here in October at Guaranteed Rate Field and knock on wood. So I do feel like it's all, this good snowball effect of they're all coming back healthier, Yasmani Grandal hopefully soon. Yeah. And, starting pitching has been amazing. It's just simply so fun to watch. So like I said, I just feel like maybe he's going to follow Eloy, hopefully, and hit some bombs out of, all the ballparks now.
He had a great diving catch already in today's game. Like it's been fun seeing him back out there already in just this, 3 innings now. So, I mean, and you make a good point with Grandal coming back too. Like it's going to be a nice little run here that we got coming up at the end of the season.
Right. There's like so many good guys now. It's like, what do we do with all of them? It's like, you did great, but there's just too many. We can't have you all on the roster at once.
Well, that's it. We just had somebody on. Man, I wish I could remember which guest said this, but somebody in recent memory made a comment about how we all want, 2 or 3 guys at every position. Yes. And it's like, no, we just have to settle our expectations.
Yes. Can't have them all, which is a good problem we finally have.
Yeah. No, it's
a problem.
A surplus of riches is always a good thing, right?
Yep.
So, okay, like going off of that now, we've seen an emergence of a player in Brian Goodwin, who's like, especially lately, he's just on fire. You think he could be the everyday right fielder now? Is he the guy there that kind of fills the question mark that's been there for like 2 or 3 years?
I wish I had the correct answer to say yes or no. I think yes right now. It seems to be working and clicking. I don't know if, come more playoff time or come more September that'll be the case. That'll be up to Tony La Russa, not Alyssa Bergamini. But I think right now it seems like it's working. So we'll keep him there for the time being.
It's just something that popped into my head. I know he's been on fire lately, and I just want to know what you thought. You get to see him, a lot more than I do, and so
I am always in the outfield when Adam Engel is playing center field, and his catches always just amaze me.
Yeah, he's unreal.
See them so up close. I'm like, how did you just do that? I guess that's why he's in the MLB. But he's always been so fun to watch. Even Andrew Vaughn, very versatile, has been just playing basically all the positions. I'm surprised he's not pitching at this point, but he's been just so fun to watch. He's someone that I interviewed 2019 when he wasn't even on the roster yet. And he was just so excited to be part of the organization. And I'm just loving seeing, all the success that he's had.
No, that's great. it's fun seeing all these different guys step up when
Yeah.
they needed to. So like I said, it just popped into my head. I wanted to get your opinion on it, but
Yeah.
something else you can give an opinion on here. I was just noted here that your co-host Chris was named the new PA announcer at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Are you excited for him? How cool do you think that is? Like, you think he's ready for it? You think he's going to kill it?
Oh yeah, he was actually just texting me earlier today about it, and he was like, Notre Dame fans are psycho. I was like, what do you mean? And he just is saying like all these events that he gets to work, and everyone, reaching out and congratulating him. He is so great to work with. He's always on the ball. I know when he was auditioning for this, I just felt like he was going to get it, and I'm so happy he did. And those auditions are not easy. You're up against cream of the crop. And especially, with football, I know for him, he has to do more like play-by-play during the game. So a little different than what we're doing together at White Sox, but he's so professional. He knows exactly what he's doing. He used to be a baseball coach at Loyola. So he's just an all-around great person. I guess I'm going to have to like Notre Dame. I don't hate them. Matt Rooney, if you're watching, I don't hate them. But I definitely want to go to a game and listen to him. That just is so cool to me that it's going to be a familiar voice. And I was so excited when I heard the news, and he's very deserving of it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's always great when guys in our local market, get to step up to, or gals in our local market get to step up from a smaller, small market. The White Sox are the small market right now,
Right.
Into someplace more major than that. That's really cool for him.
Yeah. And he's taking someone's job that was there for 39 years. So that's, hard shoes to fill to begin with. And I know that he's going to, just knock it out of the park. And he always is very prepared with everything. So congrats to Chris.
Yeah. No, he was definitely picked for a reason. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Before I hand you over to Gonzo, I just real quick want to ask you that at the end of the show, we're talking favorite sports movie quotes. Do you have anything that comes to mind? Favorite sports movie or a specific quote?
I just love there's no crying in baseball.
It's always a good one.
Just simply love that, just because I don't know, maybe sometimes you do want to cry. I've never cried at White Sox, I'll tell you that. I'm always the best version of myself there. Vinny's like, I have.
I cry every day almost.
I hope to never cry there. So there's no crying in baseball and no crying at the White Sox.
Yeah.
And if there is, I think we know all what that would be for. If there's loss.
Yes.
So let's keep it that way. So I would say that's my favorite quote. I love when you walk into gate 2 at White Sox, up the ramp. It's win or die trying. I like that. I know they have the champagne one also about crying. Like you can only, what is it? I always forget how to say it, but I love that one too. Because I like champagne as well.
Of course.
And I would say my favorite baseball movie is Moneyball.
Oh, me too. Nice. I love that movie.
Me too.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just, I remember when like iPods were a thing. That's like the one movie I bought. It was probably like $15. And I just always watched that on my small iPod. And whether you're like just at home or on a plane, I'm sure I spent way too much money on it. But I feel like that is a baseball movie I watched the most.
Nice.
Yeah. That's a good one. It's one that I'll throw on pretty much anytime it's on Netflix or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time and answering all my meandering questions. But I'll let you go on with Gonzo. And Gonzo, take it away.
Gonzo's
Chris,
on mute.
you're muted.
He doesn't want to talk to me.
I'm sorry. Thanks for joining us for round 2. It's always a pleasure to have you. I guess to go off of what Zim was saying there, I guess you don't watch a lot of Rudy then, or?
I'm looking at the caption on the bottom. Oh, do I watch? Sorry, say that again. Do I watch a lot of Rudy? Have I seen it?
Yeah, I was banking off of that Notre Dame little joke there.
I have, but not many times. Like I wouldn't be able to tell you quotes from it. I should maybe touch up on some of my movies.
Now, I did a recent show promotion out here at Petco Field, and I just want to know, what's your favorite road park so far that you've been to on your journey?
Oh, okay. So I was recently at Dodger Stadium. It's so beautiful there. It's just it's so different than any ballpark I've ever been to. I mean, it's very historic, as you guys know, and it has a good touch of still the history is there, and then they've done updates because it is California, it is LA, so it's so large there as well. Like we just popped around all different parts of the ballpark. I do have to say, our ballpark food is the best out of any ballpark I've been to. And I'm not even just saying that because I'm employed by the team, but we just have so many more options. And I'm just very shocked at certain places I go where they only have the standard items like hot dogs, ice cream, popcorn. I'm like, come on, where's the elotes?
Like Wrigley.
Cuban sandwich. Like
Oh, need
I
the
was just there
elotes,
for the
yes.
weekend.
Like
It was-
Wrigley. Yeah, no. I do love Coors Field. I've been there a few times. Me and my sister just went to PNC Park in Pittsburgh. That was beautiful. But outside of PNC Park, there wasn't much. So we liked the ballpark, not much else around there. So again, we were spoiled by the food here in Chicago because we were like, we don't even want to eat anything here. We're going to go somewhere else and eat. I don't know. Just very much into the food at ballparks, as you can tell. Someone mentioned Kauffman Stadium. I've not been there yet. Love that someone just said, where is Wrigley? We don't have to talk about Wrigley. I do really want to go to more of the California stadiums, so that's on my bucket list. I've only been to 10 so far, so still a ways to go.
All right. Please enlighten us on how ready you are for a potential whiteout this upcoming Soxtober. Perhaps waving a I Am Hall of Fame towel, potentially.
Oh, are we calling this a whiteout? Is this a confirmed thing?
This is what Gonzo wants.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Okay, whiteout as opposed to obviously a blackout that we already had. Oh, of course I'd be ready for all that. Are you kidding me? I'd do any color they asked me to wear or
That
represent.
blackout game was awesome way back with Jim Thome. I still remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I mean I just feel like it's going to be so electric, as you were saying, a game like that with Jim Thome, and just such an important and vital game, and everyone's just very into this season. So yeah, let's hope for that. A whiteout game. I like that idea.
I asked it to you in hopes that maybe you can get something going with that,
Okay.
With your connections that you got potentially.
I'll talk to some people.
Talk to some people for me.
I'll see Rick on. Hey Rick, got an idea for you. You can't really wear white after Labor Day though, so that might be an
That's
issue.
right. That's true.
That is just,
This is serious stuff, Gonzo.
that I don't know if we could do.
And the blackout is undefeated.
Yeah. So I think we maybe have
This
to
is
stick with
true.
that color. I'm sorry. We just totally took your idea and we're like, nope, we're not doing that.
Technically, the whiteout's undefeated if it's never been done before.
Oh, that is also true. These are great points.
Also winless too.
It's easier to stain a white shirt with mustard, so you
Yeah,
got to be
think
careful.
about all the Southsiders. You really think that they're going to have clean white shirts?
Get some nachos and jalapenos and elotes.
Yep.
But then this is the champagne stain from when we won the.
Oh, there you go. We should get champagne in the park as well. There is now Malort, so I don't think enough people know that, and I don't think they all should know that, but it's in the craft cave.
Wait,
Is it really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. And I go down there frequently.
Yes, I don't know if it's on a menu or anything, but I know it's there. Which is
The
scary.
more you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, is there a potential postseason matchup that you want to see, whether it's facing Houston and getting rid of their cheating tendencies, or
Wow.
give us something?
I mean, it would be fun to, I guess, play Houston just because I feel like we would really beat up on them in terms of saying that they were cheaters. I don't know. Honestly, like I know I just was mentioning Dodger Stadium. I know they're doing well. I kind of can't look too far into that because really anything can happen.
Yeah.
So I don't even have that in my mind, to be totally honest with you. I feel like once you get closer to it, because just every year, you always think these teams are going to be in the World Series, and it could possibly be someone absolutely different. So let's just hope it's the Chicago White Sox and whoever else wants to lose to us.
If they played Houston, it'd be cool to have the whole country rooting for the White Sox, though.
That would be cool.
Could you imagine the number of like dustbins, trash cans that would be confiscated at Sox Park if that happened?
I think that might be a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, probably. But while we're on the subject, I just have to bring it up because you as someone who works in the ballpark, you're a champion for all the others that work in the ballpark, and you sent out a great tweet about one of the grounds crew members after that when he was wandering out with the garbage can when a bunch of the Astros fans were giving us crap on Twitter. And I just got to say, this is more of an observation than anything, but it's just refreshing to see someone, so in tune with everyone that they're working with and standing up for everyone. So I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, I know. Even when I look back on the tweet, like I sometimes, again, tweet things. I'm like, I should have maybe thought about that before I said it. But it just bothered me more that he was, saying something negative about the White Sox. And then like Jose was in the picture. And I know Jose had to run out there and, get the garbage can. And then the guy was like, well, it was one of your fans that threw the trash can. Well, I mean, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't even know how he actually knew that. But all those guys worked so hard. They are there.
Absolutely.
Very early in the morning. I don't even know what time. And then they're there very late after the game. So, again, I know he wasn't saying anything terrible about Jose. I was just like, I'm just going to, while I have the opportunity, talk about Jose. And he's a great guy. And all the grounds producers are so great.
Roger Bossard is legitimately my hero.
He is great.
Yeah.
He's so nice. Anytime I see him walking out and it's not great weather, I'm like, oh, there's going to be some type of a delay. But he's still smiling. He's like, hey, yeah, it's all going to be good. He's very positive.
That guy knows so much more than any of us could ever hope to know about, grass and all that. It's just amazing what goes into it all.
Yes. And I know his sons are, I do believe one is in one of the minor league teams right now. Don't quote me on that.
I did not know that.
Another one of his sons, I work out at a gym around here in Orland Park, and he works out there. So just good family, good people.
Love that.
Small world.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was kind of I'd have to agree with you with Houston. Although I'd love to see like the Sox get revenge from Oakland from last year, as well as even the Sox maybe beat up on the Yankees. Watch A-Rod, suffer on national TV. That'd be pretty great. But
I should give A-Rod a third chance, but it's just I don't know. Anytime I watch him on TV. And he's talking about our White Sox, he doesn't seem to really understand.
They roasted him on local radio this morning, too.
Okay, so I'm not alone.
David Kaplan and all them were like, this guy's awful.
Yeah, I just don't think he's into it.
Yeah.
He loves talking about his teams and whatnot, but we're getting the chance to be on national TV. Of course, we showed off yesterday, which was great, but I feel like they were still really talking about the Cubs.
Yeah, they were. This game's on national TV too. Not a lot of people. It's also on NBC, but that was
a home run.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have it on ESPN, but I like switching off ESPN and NBC Sports Chicago.
Same.
Oh, you gotta,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the news breaking right before this about Jason going to be out for a little while, so we're wishing him a speedy recovery there. But
absolutely.
He'll be back stronger than ever. Can't wait to hear him again back in the booth.
Yeah, we love Jason. I do have to show you guys. I didn't put it on because it's a little hot out, but I do love my sweatshirt.
That's it right there.
She's gonna wear it on Sunday, right? While we're in attendance, Joe.
Oh,
yeah, it's gonna be 90 out. She'll be wearing that.
She's gonna give us a shout out on the jumbotron.
This is more for October weather.
Fair enough. That does look rather warm.
Yeah. It's again like there's been just so many more people this season than ever, and it's also so hot at every location.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of my locations, I'm up on that Xfinity Kid Zone, and I think every child is up there. So, it's a little toasty around the ballpark these days.
I'm sure.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah, fun.
That's gonna be a really nice, sweatshirt for Soxtober. Did you try it on already,
Exactly.
or
Oh,
is it pretty comfy?
Great. Yes, I've had it for a few months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Love hoodies. Who doesn't love a hoodie?
No, I love the
You
fall
need it.
weather out there, but
Yes.
thanks again for answering my questions, and I'm gonna pass it back to Joe here.
Okay.
Yeah. So before we let you go, we got one chat question that we're gonna throw your way.
Okay.
Frank wants to know, if you were on the team, what position and where in the lineup do you think you would bat?
Oh, I'm going to pretend I would be like a Tim Anderson, one pitch, one hit out of the ballpark like he's done the past 2 games. I don't feel like I'm as fast as a shortstop, but maybe in my next life I will be. And if I was on the team, I would, of course, only be on the White Sox. No other team.
There you go.
Great question, Frank. Great question, Frank.
Yeah, great
Yes.
question, Frank,
That
for
was a good
sure.
question.
Didn't the Sox have you doing promotions for Mother's Day? Was that? I was thinking like pink in my mind from some I saw from your I think it was Instagram, maybe. I couldn't remember.
I wasn't back yet on Mother's Day. I was back in the ballpark as an employee June 3rd. I did go to a lot of games beforehand. Maybe in years past. I don't know. I like pink. I probably did wear it somewhere. I can't keep up. The games start just all meshing. Not this past weekend, the weekend before, like those 3 games were just insane. And then Monday we, had off. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, back at it. Bulls night. That's another, Vinny, to go back to your question a long time ago. I always love Bulls night because they bring the bucket boys. Benny's there. Benny's insane and he's a southpaw, and I'm always just doing something with those 2. They always just come at the last minute when I have to go live. I'm like, where are the mascots? They better get over here fast. And somehow they always do.
They're the most popular people.
Show up.
They really are the most popular people in that ballpark.
Actually, it wasn't pink. It was the Wilson promotions for the second half of the season. That's what I saw. You
were close. That was like more of a red. But we'll do that.
Honorable mention to you, Gonzo, on that one.
And he's like, yeah.
But Robert in the chat wants to know, who's your favorite Sox player? I know that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I would say I've worked with AJ Pierzynski and Jim Tomei at various either White Sox events or something with NBC Sports Chicago. So those are my 2, favorite White Sox players growing up. I can't even choose this year. Like, they're all great guys. They're all doing well for the most part. It's too hard to choose. I don't want to play favorites. I don't know. I've interviewed Dallas Keuchel. He's great. Dylan Cease, Lucas Giolito. He will eventually have a career in broadcasting because anytime I did, interviews with him, he just knew to look directly at the camera and very poised and very professional. Like I said, Andrew Vaughn. Loved Nick Madrigal. He was always, fun to do interviews with. So basically, I like the whole team.
Everybody?
Yep.
Hey, that's okay. I mean, it's a great year to be, around these guys. So that's totally cool.
Yes.
And yeah, of course, AJ and Jim are 2 of the best to ever do it. So
I do this shirt with a lot of their names on it. So I would say a lot of these guys too.
Isn't it crazy that almost everyone on that shirt lived up?
Yes.
When it first came out, I was like, when one of these guys is a bust, it's going to be a little funny. Almost none of them became they all hit.
And this was a Sox Charities shirt. Not even really just promoting anything other than the players. And a lot of people are always asking me about this shirt. Like, where did you get it? I'm like, it just part of my uniform that day.
Well, have you noticed over the years? For a while there, the only jerseys you would see were Konerko, Pierzynski, old-time players. Nobody on the active lineup except maybe Abreu. But now it's the new wave of jerseys is starting to flow through that ballpark. You see Moncada, you see Kopech, you see Tim Anderson. The tides are turning in terms of jerseys at the stadium.
I know. And I do love, even at Grandstand or Chicago Sports Steeple, they're always good about refreshing the jerseys, selling the Luis Robert ones again or whoever's coming up. So it's hard to even pick what jersey someone would buy because They're all great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And they're
It's
expensive.
an exciting time. They
Yeah.
are expensive.
Yes.
It's an exciting time to be a White Sox fan.
It is fun.
And but we thank you for so much of your time tonight,
course.
Alyssa. Before we let you go, why don't you tell everyone, what anything else that you might have coming up? We know you're involved at, usually with some high school sports. You doing anything with that this year? Just kind of like what you got coming up the rest of the year.
Really focusing on White Sox at the moment. We still have a full August schedule as well as September. High school still on pause, so everyone keep your fingers crossed because I love covering those teams. That's really all I got going on right now. I've had a lot of weddings. Weddings are in the past right now. Just was in Iowa City this weekend, so still recovering from that. So I'm just like full throttle White Sox right now, and it's been, as I've mentioned multiple times, just so much fun this year. Love going to work. Love seeing all you guys there. And if anyone's at the ballpark, just say hi to me. And hopefully I
will.
Promise, everyone could be a contestant here and there, but the key is to get to the game early. Pride crew members are the ones that pick you guys out. Just wear your White Sox stuff. If you see them walking around, everyone's very friendly, very polite. So you could introduce yourself and say, hey, do you have any promotions during the game today? So, because people will ask me like in the 5th inning, like, oh, how do I get on the big screen? I'm like, well, we prepare beforehand.
Yeah.
So it's just not in that moment. So yeah, just say hi. And let's cheer on our White Sox.
Love that.
Let's do it. And for anyone that doesn't follow her on social media, make sure you follow Alyssa. You can follow her on Twitter at Alyssa Bergamini. Same thing, Alyssa Bergamini on Instagram and on Facebook, I believe. Did I miss any of them? There's another one, right? There's somewhere else. That's all of them?
Yeah, don't follow me on TikTok. I'm not really great at that. So no TikTok. Just those other 3. Yeah, I'll just be talking about A-Rod, I'm sure, again.
That's right. But Alyssa, again, thank you so much for hanging out with us for the second time. We look forward to having you on again, hopefully after a long postseason run.
Yes.
But we wish you the best of luck the rest of the year, and we'll hopefully run into you at the ballpark later on this season.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. Always very enjoyable. And I think, we're still up 7-0. So this is good luck here.
Yeah. Oh, there is a certain event occurring right now that I'm not sure has been addressed by anybody, but just pay attention to the guy pitching.
What?
Zim,
what was that?
You don't got to spoil it. What happened?
All I said is just pay attention to the guy pitching. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, now they cut the crowd, so now I can't see.
Giolito's having a really good game right now. We'll leave it at that.
That's
okay.
I didn't say anything.
All right, well, let's
Please.
All right. Okay. So that makes it clear. But we will.
You act like I just said he was in the middle of throwing a.
Don't say anything. Please stop talking.
We should keep her on. We should keep her on with this trend.
Nah, it's all right. But Alyssa, again, thank you so much. We will let you get out of here. You could actually watch this game, but we'll see you in the ballpark soon. And thank you so much.
All right. Go Sox, guys.
Go Sox.
Talk to you later. Thank you.
Thanks, Alyssa.
All right, guys. Alyssa Bergamini, absolutely amazing guest, as always. And that was just so much fun.
You what?
I want you in jail.
You want me in jail? Why? Because Lucas Giolito's having a good game?
Yeah, Frank, if you guys haven't noticed by the last name, he's my cousin. He described it perfectly. Shaking my head.
I didn't say anything.
Ron says Alyssa is so good, and she really is. Cannot get enough of Alyssa on the show. And absolutely thank her for her time because she's just a pro's pro and the best. And she had our hoodie. I got to screenshot that. Yeah. That's gonna be a great image.
I got to say, this is the most I've laughed on this show in a while. Like that was a great time, and let's hope the 4 of us can keep it rolling.
We probably can't.
I think we can certainly try. But gentlemen, now that the interview's over, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the rest of our show and all of our segments. So we'll see you after a word from our local barroom sponsor. South Burbs Hitmen will be right back.
It's the Mikey Bet Show, the Mikey Bet Show. Do you know the Mikey Bet Show?
return to South Burbs Hitmen. And we are back after that brief commercial break. And during the break, our chat room just absolutely giving the praise to Alyssa Bergamini, our guest. You know, Travis, thanks, Alyssa. Always great having you on. Absolutely. Robert Mandel. Alyssa was a great guest, and you guys did a great interview. I loved it. And Travis, please mute Zim. I'm thinking about it for the rest of the show, Travis. But if that's what you guys want, we'll just do what the people want. But obviously Zim is here, and he's gonna eat some crow probably. But we'll see what happens.
Isn't it funny how we do that though? Like I obviously cracked the joke too, but I think it's always hilarious when people are like, dude, don't say it. It's the fifth inning, as if they can hear us in Minnesota, and that even slightly matters whatsoever. That's partially why I engage in that joke. Like, dude, Zim, you idiot. Just because
oh my God, Sandy.
He's at 55 pitches too. I mean, unless he gets dramatically more efficient, Giolito's just not the kind of guy that's going to shut you down when he gets above 80, 90 pitches. In my opinion, at least what we've seen this season from him. So,
you know what I love about it?
Backtracking.
What I love about it, though, we see what Rodon and Lynn have done. Cease has been a top 5 pitcher in the MLB over the last 2 months. So, and now Giolito is trying to assert himself amongst the big four for the playoff starting rotation. So to me, this is great stuff. I hope they all battle, and I hope we argue for months on who the ace is or who's the number 2.
Right.
Keep forcing me to change my opinion, White Sox pitchers.
The competition's a good thing. It's a good thing for the boys, and I'm all about it. But guys, we're ready to go ahead, Zim.
I was just going to say, especially late in the season where we've been seeing what Tony's been doing with the rotation and how he's not afraid to kind of mix it up. And, hey, you were the ace last week, but that doesn't mean shit about this week. So, nice, like you said, seeing them assert themselves and, just having a little backbone when it comes to saying, no, I'm the guy. Yeah.
Force me to argue with my neighbor on who the White Sox third best pitcher is.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
For sure. And, we didn't even talk about too much about the return of Luis Robert, but, this is going to have a big effect on this team moving forward. I got Zim and Vinny, or I got Chris and Vinny on it, but I didn't get Zim. Zim, what does La Pantera bring to this squad for you?
He brings everything that they've been missing. I mean, he brings the linchpin to the whole lineup. is what he does. You know, we know what he is. He's a true 5-tool player, and it's not when he's on, it's always. You know, even if he's making outs, they're loud outs. And
That's right.
That's something that this team kind of needed. They need a shot in the arm. As he hits, looks like it's going to be a triple, I'm guessing. Maybe only a double. Maybe okay, yeah, just a double.
Game on in
First
the
RBI in his first hit in 3 months. So as you're like,
as I'm talking about, he's going to give him a shot in the arm.
Totally.
I planned it that way.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, his first at bat in this game was a pop up that wound up being dropped and allowing a run to score. I think it was the first run of the game. No, Anderson hit a leadoff homer, but you know what I mean. It was in the first inning, I believe, and then immediately in his next at bat, he hit a screaming line drive to the left fielder. You can see that he's seeing the ball well right out of the rehab assignment. He is exactly what this team needs going into a playoff run. Like Alyssa said, it's awesome seeing all these guys come back healthy at this time of year. And it's just one after another, after another, after another. You know, first it was, even if it's a guy, you know, a rotational guy like Jake Lamb, and I know I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent here, but like seeing
That's all right.
even a guy like Jake Lamb starting to come back, and he is, you know, he was important when he was in the lineup and he did a great job filling the role that he was in. And now, sorry, Frank, I didn't mean to spoil anything for you, but I don't know. I'm in Denver and on a delay. So if you're on that much of a delay, I don't know what to tell you, man. Regardless, it's a shot in the arm. It's exactly what this team needs. Long story short, Luis Robert is exactly what they needed when they needed. And the fact that he's batting 7th in the lineup tonight is insane.
And Vaughn's not playing. He's got the day off, and he's still batting.
Oh, wow. I was looking at this lineup going, who the hell's missing? It's Vaughn. This is a problem now. And I don't know. I'm going to try to transition this and throw it back to you guys. But like, we now have the problem that we were talking about months ago, which is you have too many guys to fill this lineup. What do we do now? Do you put Vaughn in right field? Do you make him rotational out there with, you know, maybe take Garcia out a little more often? I mean, I think that's what we all want to see, right? Larry Garcia playing less.
Yeah, and as he's at bat right now, Garcia, by the way. But I think you're going to see Vaughn play, you know, the outfield, and then you're going to see him take some first base. And I think occasionally, maybe call me crazy, I think you might see him pop on second base every once in a while as well, like Tony had him do that one game. I know that was kind of an emergency thing, but I think mostly you're going to see him in the outfield and then spelling Jose at first.
And
Vinny,
definitely a DH.
Curious your thoughts for
DH
sure.
Because Eloy's not going to DH every game. This is the first game he actually looked like a good hitter while DHing since he came back. And he has played competent left field, which that's all I need out of Eloy, if it's innings 1 through 7 especially. And Vaughn can play the corner outfielders, first base. I think Yasmani Grandal is going to play more first base than we think too. They're going to ease him back into catching, I would assume.
Sure. Especially with a knee problem. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this is great. Vaughn's out of the lineup and Robert's batting 7th, and it still doesn't feel right.
And Larry Garcia still strikes out.
We're almost done, boys. We're almost done with Leary. Once Grandal's back, can we all agree that once Grandal's back, the team, barring any more injuries, will be as currently or as designed? Like when Rick Hahn sat down in December, he thought to himself, well, we want to get Vaughn at bats so that by August he'll be a major league ready hitter who knows how to make adjustments to major league pitching, which I think that's starting to show over the last 5 or 6 games especially. And Grandal's behind the plate. You have a good backup catcher defensively, at least at bare minimum. They got a second baseman once, Magical's out for the season. So when they obviously traded him, but I'm saying like when he went down, you knew we needed a second baseman. Of course, now it's Hernandez, who made a great catch in this game as well.
Yes.
A couple home runs over the weekend. Like he's everything you want in that second base role. So the lineup as constructed is exactly the way we would want it once Grandal comes back.
Yeah, and they were functioning perfectly all weekend, and I got to transition into the sweep of the Cubs because I think we have to talk about it. this looked like the team that we know they're supposed to be. Yes, the Cubs are not the team that they were 2 weeks ago, but you got to beat these teams, and you got to look like you're dominating them. And the pitching was absolutely dominating, except for Craig Kimbrell's performance, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But overall, this team is the team that we thought they were. They are who we thought they were. That's right, the White Sox. And they had a great performance against the Cubs. They're keeping it going right now against the Twins. And they got to ride that tail into a big series with the Yankees coming Thursday at Field of Dreams, and then at home Saturday and Sunday. Vinny, I got to ask you, this Yankees team, I don't want to skip over the Cubs series. We'll get back to it in a bit. But this Yankees team going through a bit of an injury/COVID period right now. I hate to say this the way it is, but the Sox got to take advantage of that, right?
Yes and no. They have the best record since the All-Star break, tied with the Rays. So they're playing good baseball. I actually have them on my television right now. They're tied 0-0 with those pesky Royals. Giolito just lost his perfect game, and it looks like he might be a little hurt because he took a bat. It's not. I don't know if it's going to be a hit though. Is it a hit or an error? We'll see.
It's marked as a hit right now on my box fit.
Yeah, Moncada had no knee on that play. But back to the Yankees, they're tied 0-0 with those pesky Royals right now in the fifth inning. They're feeling themselves right now. That American League East division has kind of transformed, if you will, over the last 7 days. Boston's won 3 games out of their last 13. The Yankees and Rays have been hot, and the Blue Jays have been one. I think they have the third best record behind the Rays and the 3 best records in baseball since the All-Star break, playing the American League East, and it's kind of transformed. So I know Gonzo will get into the pitching matchups for the week later, but it's hard for them to not. It's hard to see them not use Garrett Cole in that series, and we're going to see Rodon. I would have to go back and rethink about who's going to be coming up, but we'll see Cease for sure. I don't know. I think it's going to be a very interesting series. I want them to win on Thursday more than I've wanted them to win most games in the last 10 years or so. Like beating the Cubs, that was nice. They were in a lose-lose situation, though, because if they win, you beat the Iowa Cubs. If they lose, you lost to the Iowa Cubs. Like, they just needed to beat them and get that series over with, and I'm glad they did. But the Yankees, it's going to be tough. Don't let Aaron Judge hit it to Pluto and try to score some runs.
You can say one thing, we won't be seeing Anthony Rizzo, who's going to be in the COVID protocols for at least 10 days. So he, will not be playing in this series, which you could argue is a bullet that the Sox are dodging because he was getting hot. But, we'll see what happens with him there. But real quick, Gonzo and Zim, I'll let you give quick thoughts on this Yankees series and specifically the Field of Dreams. We'll get back to you, Vinny, later about your experience there. But Chris and Zim, what are you looking forward to with this game on Thursday? Either one of you can go first. Zim, you go ahead.
All right. No, I'm really excited about it. I've been looking forward to it for 2 years since it was announced. Like, I think this is one of the coolest things. And unfortunately, I have plans that night, so I don't know if I'm going to actually get to watch it live, which is dumb of me to have made plans that night. But, oh well, I guess. I'm definitely going to be watching the replay because it's just it really is a once-in-a-lifetime sort of thing. They're going to take down the stadium after it's done. It's cool. It's just cool.
It's baseball nostalgia, all the amazing things about baseball. And the jerseys are just the ice cream on top. I had to go and order my hat right away. I just absolutely love it. Gonzo, it's nice. They still have them. But Gonzo, quick thoughts on Field of Dreams before we move on to talk a little bit about, we'll give it to Vinny first, and then we'll talk the Cubs sweep.
Yeah, no, I mean, last time we saw the Yankees was in New York, and they took advantage of us with a AAA roster, basically, out in the Bronx. This will be nice to see how we measure up to them. Especially when we come back, after Thursday, when we come back to, guaranteed rate, Saturday, Sunday. It'll be nice to see them in our own ballpark and watch that slugfest, basically, because I'm sure it's going to be all offense. But really, I'm just more looking forward towards really next week, because we're going to see Oakland, Rays, and the Blue Jays. A lot of great. That's like the meat of our playoff competition, all within a week and a half, basically. And
It's a big test.
it's a huge test. It's the biggest test we're going to face from mid-August till October, basically, because September is a breeze of a schedule. So we're going to get a real feel of the competition here. And I really think Boston's going to fall, and Yankees and I think 3 teams of the East are going to make it, and Oakland's going to miss out. That's how I'm looking at it right now, because I really think the Yankees and the Jays are going to squeeze in, knock Boston out, and Oakland's going to miss it. That's kind of how I'm seeing it at the moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great week of couple weeks of baseball coming up here. Looking forward to every second of it. And Vinny, before we move on, I got to get your thoughts. You've been to the Field of Dreams. You've played ball on the Field of Dreams. Just talk a little bit about that experience, man, and what that was like.
It's weird because you go there and it's basically in the heart of America, right? Iowa's almost dead center. Well, people from all over the country drive in. It's literally like, you've all seen the movie. Karen describes it as people will come to Iowa City and they'll want to come to the game, and they'll want to come to the Field of Dreams. That literally happened in real life. People go there on a daily basis. I know MLB's invading for the next week or so, but outside of that, people go there and they just play baseball. And you don't really say much to anyone around you. You find an open spot, you grab a bat, you grab a ball, and you play. And it's almost like you're playing in it has a Sandlot-y feel in that aspect, like the type of baseball that it is. Like someone pitches for 5 or 10 minutes, or, you get your at bat, you switch off, you play the outfield, you play the infield. Someone with a first baseman's mitt can play first base, normally me or Joey. But, it's just, it's cool. It's like heaven on earth. And no matter what you believe in, like the point of Field of Dreams is heaven. Like the guys come out of the corn, and it really feels like heaven on earth if you like baseball, because just a bunch of people, people are in the real world, people are kind of mean, but not at the Field of Dreams. Like you go to the Field of Dreams, that every single person there loves baseball. They all love Ray Kinsella. They all love Shoeless Joe Jackson. And that's what my experience literally felt like. It literally felt like everyone around you was your friend, and they were. And it's something I'll never forget. It was a couple years ago now. I was freshly out of high school, or I might even still been in high school. I don't remember. I'm 26 now, but it's a lot of fun. If you haven't been and you're listening, I highly, highly recommend it. I want to go back and just pitch. Just step on that mound and pitch, and know that if I throw my curve, Shoeless Joe Jackson's going to try and hit it right back at me for questioning him.
I love it, man. It's on the bucket list for sure, and I'd love to go check it out.
Maybe we could go together and have a South Burbs Hitmen little session there.
That would be amazing. We have to get that on the calendar, man. See if I could hit anything, but that'd be so much fun, man. And if you guys haven't seen the movie, of course, Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner, James Earl Jones. It's just a great movie. Ray Liotta. Hopefully, some of those guys show up at the game on Thursday. That'd be really cool. I'm hoping at least Kevin Costner shows up.
I just want the White Sox to put on a show. Like, even if you lose the game, like, show the world who they are. Like Jimenez, Robert, Abreu, Rodon. We'll hopefully see Kimbrel and Hendricks. That would mean they're winning. Like, go do what you did to the Cubs.
That's it. Thanks, Cubs.
Thanks, Cubs.
And on that note, guys, let's get into the meat and bones of our show. Zim had to step away for a minute, but we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. And we're going to talk about our buddy, the man, the myth, the speedster. That's right. I'm talking about Tony La Russa, and I'm stalling as I find the video clip because they changed my setup here, but that's okay. I got it. We're ready to go. This is what we like to call La Russa's Live. Yeah, so we're going to talk about Tony La Russa, his decision making, all that fun stuff. What we thought from the week, that was coming, that was just past, that's coming up. You know what I mean. Anyway, I'm going to keep things chugging along. I can't put two sentences together, but here we are, Tony La Russa. And I got to talk a little bit about one thing that I've been really liking that he's been handling, guys, is the balance he has between Craig Kimbrell and Liam Hendriks. I feel like he's been managing it really well. These are two guys that are amazing closers. Obviously, Hendriks wants the ninth. Kimbrell wants the ninth. But, at points, Hendriks has been quoted as saying, it doesn't matter when I pitch. It could be the first, could be the third. I just want to get in there and pitch and strike guys out. Chris, I got to ask you, man, what do you see from Tony with the handling of this situation? Because for me, I see a guy that's learned a lot about his squad, and he knows what he has to do to win, and he's just managing it the right way. What do you see?
I see him continuing, to go with the guy that has proven to him all season long, in situations that have been pretty dire, needing to get 6 outs for multiple saves into very tough situations. Liam's always proved it to him. He went to the All-Star game as our closer, and I continue to see that throughout the rest of the season. I mean, there might be, sometimes down the stretch where they're going to give him a breather and let Kimbrell go out. But this postseason, I think it's going to be Kopech, Crochet set up with Bummer as well. And then 8th inning, it's going to be Kimbrell, and 9th is Liam Hendriks. And good luck to whoever can, gain some support and run support against those guys. Because we saw you brought up the Royals. We remember their bullpen stretch from 2015 with Wade Davis and that crew with Herrera, and they were absolutely shutting down, teams and won the World Series that way. And that's how you have to do it nowadays to win, is your pitching staff and your bullpen. I mean, mainly your bullpen, because nowadays you're not going to have guys like Lance Lynn. He might be the only guy that could go 6-7 innings in a playoff game, but for the most part, you're going to be looking at 4 or 5 innings with your starters and then to your bullpen. So
yeah, that's the one thing that A-Rod said last night that I agreed with, is that if this team goes deep in the playoffs, they're not going to need to have 4 complete games or all their starters dominate. It's going to be the bullpen that's going to really, be the hammer. And I don't agree with A-Rod on pretty much anything, but that's one thing that I do agree is we don't have to tax those arms, and we can save those guys later on if we need them. I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
That's just an obvious point by A-Rod. I mean, that's just face nowadays with baseball and how it's ran. Granted, that's why we have Lance Lynn as our ace, because if we need him, he'll go 2, definitely possibility of going 3 times through the lineup. So with the stuff that he has, and he's so confident in it, he's the only guy that I would trust to go there if I need it. Surprisingly, this was asked of Tony in his opening day press conference, because he was asked about the situation with Tony Snell with Tampa Bay last postseason of, was it the right decision to pull him by Kevin Cash? And Tony said, he basically, if you read between the lines, he said it was a bad decision, because he said that you really have to feel the moment out. And I think Tony's one of those guys where he'll look at the analytics and be like, all right, but I'm really feeling the eye test right now. And with his experience, he knows, what you need for, championships. And that's going to be the eye test to go with the analytics. And he's a guy that been there before, and I trust Tony at this moment with handling our pitching staff and this roster to get it done. And I'm very confident right now in our team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And my next point I want to touch on here, guys, is we know he's doing great with Kimbrell and Hendriks, but Vinny, this is what I want to toss to you: is his use of the bullpen as a whole right now. Because to me, it seems like a bit of a masterclass in managing these guys, because you're seeing them kind of fall into their roles. You're seeing Reynaldo Lopez emerge. You're seeing these guys just do what they have to do, and they're getting it done consistently. What clicked, or do you think it's just something that Tony's doing? I mean, I got to get your thoughts on kind of how this team has come together in such a great way in that bullpen.
Yeah, for me, it's day to day, right? So, like, yeah, in a perfect world, a game goes where Lance Lynn goes 6, or any starter, they go 6. And then you got Kopech, Kimbrel, Hendricks, or Kopech, Hendricks, Kimbrel, whatever you want. That's a perfect world. That's not going to always happen because there's going to be games you're winning by 7 that you're not going to go to Kimbrel or Hendricks. And you might not even use Kopech. There's going to be a game you're winning by 3, but Hendricks tossed 4 outs the night before. So you go to Kimbrel as the closer. In the playoffs, a lot of people often forget that if Lance Lynn went in game 4 and it's game 7, but Rodon started that game, they can use Lynn in the 9th inning. And so the playoffs to me are just so much different than the regular season that there are so many ways to get crafty with a bullpen. And so far since the trade deadline and acquiring Kimbrel and Tepera, that Tony La Russa has really demonstrated that he knows how to work a unit. And for example, against the Cubs, Craig Kimbrel is one of the greatest closers who ever lived, and he's probably been the best reliever so far this season for any team. But he had one bad game. One. Back at Wrigley, lots of nerves, somewhat of a high-pressure situation. It happens from time to time. We've seen it happen with Hendricks. No one clowns him. We've seen it happen to Michael. No one clowns him. Kimbrel did it against the Cubs. He got traded from the Cubs. It's always going to be extra drama. The very next day, in a high-leverage situation, Tony La Russa throws Kimbrel right back to the Wolves. 1, 2, 3, see you later. Like, I might have hesitated to do that. I'm not Tony La Russa. Tony La Russa knew, and he used Tepera as the closer to see what he can do with a 4-0 lead in the 9th inning. After the White Sox got all that momentum from the Abreu and Hernandez back-to-back. And so you add in Michael Kopech to that mix. Garrett Crochet, he's like 20 years old. You never know what you're going to get from him. The only thing Tony hasn't really seemed to understand yet so far is that Garrett Crochet is not very good with the extra man on second base. He gives up the home run, and luckily they have a 4-run lead, so now it's just a 2-0 lead, and then he gets out of it 1, 2, 3. But for some reason, starting like a dirty inning like that hasn't worked out, and I think that's the 3rd time this season Crochet has let the runner on second score in extra innings. So really, that's the only kind of thing Tony's not – but, maybe that's trying to get Garrett ready for something. And he knew that they had a 4-0 lead. And if he gives up a bomb and, now you're within 2 years, go get those 3 outs still. And, Aaron Bummer is someone we've barely brought up. He's starting to look exactly like we think Bummer can look. His slider's nasty. I always say he reminds me of Chris Sale. I think I've said that on this show. He's reliever Chris Sale because he's kind of mean. He looks like someone you really wouldn't want to talk to outside of baseball. But, just the way he manages the bullpen as a whole can vary from day to day, and I appreciate that because even you brought up with Snell. Tony, the computers say pull Snell. Maybe in some situations that would have looked smart. It didn't that time. And Tony, he's like a hybrid of the analytics and the eye test, kind of like how I try to be when analyzing stuff. I like metrics, but I also know that if Lynn has 80 pitches in the 8th inning, probably don't pull him. So I like seeing it from day to day.
For sure, brother. And I think it's something that Tony has just been doing so great at, and I'm excited to see how the team moves on the rest of the way. But the other thing, and I keep talking a lot about Tony, I'm giving a lot of praise today. I don't really have a lot of bad to say. I got to talk about his use of Dylan Cease because this is a kid that, like you mentioned, Vinny, over the last, month and a half, he's been one of the probably top 5, top 10 pitchers in all of baseball, and he's been notoriously good. Steven Zimmerman, I'll toss it to you. I gotta ask, what are you seeing in a difference from him here? And what is Tony doing? What is Katz doing? Or is this kid just finally awakening?
I think it's a little bit of everything. Part of it is definitely that I think Katz has been helping him for sure, because he's starting to feel like himself on the mound. And you can see it in this video that you've got on the screen here. It's a video of him throwing, I believe it's a knuckle curve and a fastball. And you see he's got the exact same release point and the ball comes in at the exact same point. except the knuckle curve only goes about 58 feet. And it's just incredible that his mechanics are so solid and sound on the same and look identical on two entirely different pitches. And the result is exactly what you want to see. And it's just nasty on this curveball. The one thing that I think he's been doing differently is he's not aiming the ball. He's really just reaching back and letting it fly. He is gaining confidence, which is something I talk about a lot because I think there's a mental aspect to baseball that goes beyond a lot of other sports, particularly in pitching. If you're not feeling yourself, then you're not going to do anything. And he's starting to really feel himself. And I think that's encouraged by La Russa. The one thing that I think we're not seeing is he's still young. He's still figuring out when to use certain pitches, when to hold back a little bit. I feel like if he would just like not throw the curveball for 3 innings, that's a little bit of hyperbole, right? But like if he would just hold that curveball until the second time through the lineup, it could really elevate him from like being a guy to being the guy, and that's just my opinion. But there's a reason why all of his starts this year, 5 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings, 5 innings, 5.2, 5.0, 5.1, so on and so forth. His longest start of the year has been 7 innings, and he's done that twice. One of them being the 7-inning complete game back in April. Yeah. Which was the first time we really saw him go like, wow.
I think it's just amazing. This kid's been so good. And if he can get his command that much better, you're talking about a kid that could be really something special. And before we go any further, I want to say that video came from the Pitching Ninja, of course. Great stuff. If you haven't seen any of his work, you check him out at Pitching Ninja. And of course, he was on Crosstown Crosstalk with Vinny and Joey. So gotta love the Pitching Ninja, Rob Friedman. If you don't know him, make sure you check out his work. That's pretty amazing stuff. But
I've been the one harping on Cease since the beginning of this season between him and Lynn. And I tweeted about yesterday. At this moment, I feel very confident that Cease is our 3. And to begin this year, it really was the command. But as of lately, he's been getting ahead of the counts. He's just really working on finishing batters with what he has that given night. And that's what you can kind of see struggle because, this game at Wrigley, for him, he didn't have that slider. And it wasn't until really late that he actually was starting to get it over and, fading up and away, which was interesting to see. But other than that, the fastball knuckle curve was spot on. He was just looking for that third pitch to finish them, when he's up in the count. Granted, I think it was the second, third inning, he was getting squeezed quite a bit around the plate with the plate umpire. But, from the first inning to that fourth, first inning he was solid, and fourth after he just picked it up again. But that's a guy that, and don't get me wrong, I don't want this to be a situation where everyone thinks it's guaranteed that just because of Keuchel's experience with the postseason, he's going to get those important innings in October, because I'm a full advocate for throwing your best arms going into the postseason.
Yeah,
and use them if you have to use them out of the bullpen, middle, probably about the second time through the order, during these games. But we're not going to really see that until within this next month to really get a feel of where these guys are headed at. But I mean, at this moment, I feel very confident at letting Cease prove to us his potential and let him feed, let him just eat this all up and prove to us that he's going to be our ace going forward and he can handle these moments.
Our ace in the hole, if you will.
I will say, if they end up in a situation in the postseason where they have to pull a starter out of the bullpen, I wouldn't mind seeing Cease be that guy, only because he has that ability to come in. And like I was saying, the first time he sees these guys, he can get them, and he knows he can get them.
It's filthy. Yeah.
Yeah. And having
interesting
a chance.
Conversation.
Yeah, it's definitely something I think we should touch on as the postseason gets closer and closer, because they're gonna have to make a tough decision here.
I think it's better to have him start the game, get through that order first, and then hand it over to the rest. It's similar to what Ricky didn't do in Oakland going into Game 3. He threw Dunning out there when I was really harping on giving Cease that shot.
Yeah, Dunning should have been the bullpen guy for sure last year.
Yeah. So
I looked at something really quick while that Cease stuff was happening. Gio and Kopech both had 25 to 30 AAA starts. Cease had like 11.
Yeah.
So they had a little extra time to craft their stuff. I think the control was obviously the issue with Cease. Kopech and Giolito had a little bit extra time to hone in on it. And then Giolito kind of sucked in 2018. And, it took him about 30 starts to really become like a magnificent starter like he is now. And Kopech, to me, is a little bit of a different type of animal because he's so good. Like the talent is just a little bit above the other two. And now Cease is about 30-something starts into his career. And he's really now starting to come on. Him and Giolito have a very similar ERA. Gio's going to come down after this game. But, it's been a while since any of these guys have had a dud. And with that, we would like to set up the Adam Dud of the week.
You suck! You suck! Suck!
Stupid. Lousy. No excuse.
What a dud. What a total dud.
Yeah, the team had a good week for the most part, but there are a few guys that stunk up the place and what we like to call our Adam Dud of the week. We all get to nominate someone. I'm going to go first today just because I'm just not feeling it. And I got to put Zach Collins in his place right now because I feel like he's not doing anything. He came in, he went 0 for 8. He's been horrible defensively. I mean, I know Zebby is not like the best bat in the world, but he's been hitting better than Collins has. For me, Zach Collins looks like the wind is out of his sails for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Zebby's getting so much playing time. But for me, my Adam Dud of the week definitely goes with Zach Collins. It's just he didn't get that much playing time, but he still just looks. I don't know, guys. Is it just me? Doesn't kind of look like he wants to be there? Am I just imagining things? Are you guys seeing the same thing I'm seeing there?
I was going to say Zach Collins, so you kind of stole the mojo that I was going to go with.
I was all on Zach Collins. As a catching guy myself, he's looked average at best behind the plate, and at the plate, he's just terrible. When Sebi Zavala is showing you up at your job, I think you've got a problem.
Well, the thing is, Collins is supposed to be the better hitter, right? He hasn't.
Right.
He hasn't been. That's just a fact. He might be a more talented batsman, but he hasn't been. And that's the biggest issue when you're a winning ball club. If this was 2018 and Zavala and Collins were doing this, it'd be like, all right, let's keep giving Collins at bats so he can figure it out. But the goal of this team is to win the World Series. You have to keep the guy who gives you the best chance to win. And as a backup catcher to Yasmani Grandal has to be the guy who's a better glovesman, in my opinion.
Well, and what sucks is we're probably going to keep Cease when Grandal comes, or Cease, sorry, Collins. We're probably going to, we're keeping Cease for sure.
I hope so.
They're going to keep Collins when Grandal comes back because, he's the designated catcher for who is it? Lynn? Is that it? I don't remember.
No, yeah, he's been doing Lynn. I think he does. No, Lynn like Zavala now.
Lynn likes Zavala now, really?
Zavala now.
So, I mean,
that might get him, but I wonder if waiver claims and AAA status will have anything to do with it too. I don't know each guy's status, but that's why Gavin Sheets went down,
right? So because he has more options. Yeah. I don't know. Collins.
It'll be interesting.
I don't know what Collins' contract situation looks like.
Yeah, I'd have to take a deeper dive because he's been up and down a couple times. I don't know if he's run out or whatever, but
he may have. So, and that's the unfortunate part with it all is they might be stuck with this guy.
Yeah. His trade value's gone down a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have offloaded him for a haul earlier in the year. Well, a decent haul. But obviously, we were all hating on Collins this week. But there's other nominees. So, Vinny, I'll let you go the second one. Who are you going to go with for your Adam Dudd?
I like a good redemption story, so I'm going to make my Adam Dudd Craig Kimbrell, who I love.
Yeah.
And he came back and wasn't a dud. The reason he's even being mentioned, I picked him so that I could be the only one who slanders him. Because I truly think the world of this guy, and he gave up one home run to Austin Romine's little brother Andrew, or maybe older brother. I don't even know that for real. They're definitely brothers.
Sure.
I couldn't believe my eyes. The pitch he threw had an average expected batting average of 170, and he golfed it out of Wrigley Field somehow for his first home run since 2017. It might be the unluckiest home run ever given up by a pitcher in the history of the sport. Gonzo, wow. I despise that you still have light. And I think the world of him, and he was bad in that one game, and I fully expect him to continue being great going forward. He made me feel a lot better on Saturday.
Yeah, I have some people that I know in my family. They're like, "Oh, Craig Kimbrell's a bum. I can't believe we gave up all this stuff for him." I'm like, he's not going to be a bum.
He's the second best closer in baseball, and guess who the first one is? He's his teammate.
Yeah, exactly. He might even be the second best closer ever. You can make that argument.
Sure, I'll let you make that argument.
Yeah,
it's quite a career for sure. But Zim, we'll toss it over to you. I'll let you pick somebody else. Who's a dud for you?
I'm not even going dud of the week. I'm going dud of the month here. How about Larry Garcia going 2 for 16 on the month with no RBIs? 125 batting average in August. Like this dude is so bad. And I mean, here's my thing with him, right? And I was going to bring this up earlier, but I thought this would be a better place to address it. Andrew Vaughn has played every position that Larry Garcia has played so far this season. If you have to pick between Andrew Vaughn and Larry Garcia, who are you going with? Obviously, that's a rhetorical question because we all know the answer is hands down Andrew Vaughn. As soon as this team, that's right, Rookie of the Year, Andrew Vaughn. Excuse me, I will not slander on his name any further.
That's right.
If your choice is between the Rookie of the Year and some dude who's, is supposed to be your utility guy, you go with the Rookie of the Year, and that's not even. It's not even close. Like Larry has had his moments on this team. I picked him for my pick to click one week because I thought that he could do it for this team at certain points this year.
I remember.
I'm never going to live it down, so I'm just going to bury myself here.
It's not even like the defense is marginal either. Like,
no, Andrew Vaughn has been that good. Sorry, Rookie of the Year, Andrew Vaughn has been that good defensively this year that I wouldn't mind seeing our Rookie of the Year take place over Larry Garcia.
Yeah.
Like it's not really a competition at this point. It's I don't know. It's Mitchell Trubisky versus Mike Glennon. It's obvious who you go with at this point, and like,
that was not a great analogy, Zim.
It's a horrible analogy. All right. It
was pretty obvious in camp.
In camp it was very obvious when, the last 3 years, let's not talk about that, but in camp in 2017. Anyway, this is not a Bears podcast. We don't need to get into that. Larry Garcia has just been bad. His defense, Rookie of the Year, Andrew Vaughn's defense has been good enough that you can justify getting rid of Larry. And when Yasmani comes back, maybe you keep Collins around and send Larry down. Who cares if you lose him on waivers? You've got Rookie of the Year Andrew Vaughn as your utility guy.
And Billy Hamilton and Brian Goodwin and other players.
We just had a sack fly, by the way. Brian Goodwin, sack fly.
Call up Danny Mendick again.
There you go. There's guys that can fill that role better than him right now. Yeah. So, my dud of the month goes to Larry Garcia.
Love it. Gonzo, you got one before we get out of here?
I got two, actually.
Wait, who did I not give it to? It was
it's Gonzo's turn.
I'm good.
It's Gonzo's.
I'm losing my mind.
Interrupt him right as he's trying to start.
I know he wanted to skip me already. Let's see.
We should. All right, this is all the time we got for South Burbs.
Lucas Giolito as my Adam Dud of the week, giving 6 runs to the Royals last week. That was rough, and he hurt. I was sweating early on in fantasy last week because of it, but I got the W anyways. But Lucas, he stepped up today, so I can forget about that. But honorable mention is going to be Gavin Sheets. When we could have really forgotten about Jake Lamb and Garcia if he really stepped to the plate and gave us more production, we wouldn't have to send him down. But I guess in the end, he'll get valuable reps in Charlotte. So when he does get the call up in September, he'll be ready. But those are my 2 that's my Adam Dud of the week, and Giolito, and honorable mention, and Gavin Sheets.
I love it, man. And we talked about the bad, but now let's talk about the good. That's right. This guy is going to put it on the board for us. Let's hear it.
Ball hit deep. Way back. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Yeah, let's talk about those players that lit it up. And there's been quite a few guys that have had a good week, to say the least. I'm going to go last because I don't want to take the easy one here. So Gonzo went last time. I'll let you go first. Gonzo, who you got for your put it on the board?
My put on the board player of the week is Dylan Cease, with quite the week with his 2 starts. My boy is proven to me as I go crazy on Twitter for his potential 3rd starter in our rotation in October. Dylan Cease had an amazing week, and I hope he continues it as we go down the stretch of facing the next week and a half, all of that playoff contending teams that we're about to see. Hopefully he leads the way with the boys to get some W's for us.
Yeah, I do think he will. It's going to be great to see. Zim, who you got putting it on the board this week?
I got Brian Goodwin. He literally put it on the board this week when it was crunch time. He's been everywhere. And that bat flip, man, that
epic.
That might have been just as good as Tim Anderson's from a couple of years ago. That was awesome.
Did you see you know who Tom Paints is on Twitter?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was
just. Did you
thinking
see
about
that picture he did of that? It's amazing.
I wanted to ask him how much he wanted for it, man. I was really thinking about it.
There's prints of it on his website for $20.
Dude, I might have to pick one up because that bat flip that's Jose Bautista level epic. It was great. I wish it had been on that kind of stage, but hey, we'll take what we can get. It was awesome. And how awesome for Brian Goodwin that he was playing, I think, double-A ball at one point this year. And now he's in the bigs, hitting walk-off home runs, living his best life. What a great story for this season.
I think when Grandal went down and they were down Madrigal, Robert, Jimenez, and Grandal, if you were to say who on the current rosters the first to go, we probably all would have agreed on Goodwin. And now I think there's no shot he goes.
No, absolutely not. Which is wild to think that you have 2 utility outfielders, basically.
Yeah.
In Goodwin and Hamilton. Mm-hmm. And yet I wouldn't give up either of those guys right now.
No.
Not even a little bit. And it's like, so what do we do now? we've got 6 legitimate outfield options now.
Yeah.
Well, Eloy's only legitimate because of his bat, but
no errors yet.
No. For those of you who can't see, Joe has just put this image on screen of Tom Paints at Tom_Paints on Twitter. He did this awesome painting of Brian Goodwin's bat flip on this home run, and his bat is, no kidding, like 25 feet up in the air. He just launched this thing. And the cool part about this picture, I don't know if you guys know the backstory of it. Tom made a post on Twitter after it happened, like, I need to get this done. And then made a post later, like, it'll be done by game time tomorrow. He did this in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
That's what's really cool about this painting to me.
I love that. It's really
so
cool.
I had to pull it up because it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I might have to pick up a print of that to stick on my wall right over here.
Well, I love it. It's a great pick there with Brian Goodwin. We're going to go backwards. Vinny, who is your put it on the board player of the week?
I know we're going to get into him a little more later when we announce our winners for the pick to click, but hi, Mom. Mine is Eloy Jimenez. You got to give like the little handshake too, like you're a little kid. Hi, Mom. Eloy Jimenez. This guy. I legitimately think he has a chance to break every offensive record that the White Sox have. If he hit 500 home runs and passed Frank Thomas's home run record, I wouldn't even be slightly surprised. He can hit for average. His OPS is going to be through the roof. Took a couple at-bats to get things really going. But, I mean, when he has a full season, like I see what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is doing, and I know they kind of came up out of the same prospect class, and they both made their debuts in the same year and, you know, had the Rookie of the Year competition between them. Neither of them ended up winning it. I think Eloy came in 4th or 3rd. But I could see him having that like 50 home run season multiple years in a row. And he's the most polished young hitter to ever come through the White Sox organization. I've said that on the show before. And I just think the world of this guy as a hitter. And when he's in the lineup, you see the dividends it pays. He hits that home run. I know TA started things off, but that's just a 1-0 lead. Like, yeah, of course, everyone wants to start with a 1-0 lead. Who wouldn't? But when Eloy hits the 2-run home run, the 3-run home run, another one later in the game, driving in runs with doubles, making that complete moron Ian Happ drop a ball. You know, he can't even play that position. I couldn't believe what I'm seeing from this guy. He's one of the best hitters they've ever had already. And so that's my guy.
That's your guy. Got to address Chubbs' comment. Congrats to the White Sox for winning the World Series last weekend.
Can I give a quick story?
Yeah, go ahead.
This guy Chubbs here. When Kimbrel gave up that home run, he tagged me in his post about, you know, making fun. I forget exactly what it was. He takes up very little space in my brain. But he tagged me in it. And I was like, all right, it's 4-4. This guy's already tagging me and shit. Like, what? It's 4-4. So about an hour later, when the White Sox absolutely curb stomped them, I wrote him back. I don't really ever reply to people either. Like, if you click my replies, it's almost no one because I don't have time for people who troll me. But I'm feeling good. My first place team just swept a 4th place team that traded away all their champions. You know, like wait till you take the lead, Chubbs, to chirp me. Like, you'll end up looking dumb, I promise.
Hey, Chubbs, good AAA teams don't blow those games, and they lead their division by 20 games with that same talent.
And let's not pretend like half the Charlotte Knights helped to get the White Sox to first place.
That's
I don't want to hear about that. If Javi Baez would have played, they still wouldn't have had 45 strikeouts. They might have had 48 strikeouts had Javier Baez played. Get out of here.
It's literally what I just said with good AAA teams. Don't choke that and lead their division by 20 games.
Exactly.
But enough of that. I will get to my put it on the board player of the week. And, you know, Vinny, we're just going to blast right by it. It's fine. But Vinny mentioned my pick, Eloy, but I'm going to pick another guy that's been on fire. I'm going to go with Jose Abreu, who's just second to me to Eloy this week. You know, he hit over 300, 308 for the week with 3 homers, 5 ribbies. The guy is unstoppable at Wrigley Field. 6 runs scored. One of the weird things that you didn't see a single walk from Jose this week, which is, you know, weird, but he's been swinging a hot bat.
The Eloy effect.
It's the Eloy effect. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
Yep. We talked about it when he came back, and I was just a week too early on it.
Yeah, and it was, man, these guys got hot at the same time, and I think you're going to see that start to happen here moving forward, hopefully in the series against the Yankees. I'm looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
But, guys, we talked about, you know, our put on the board players, but let's get to the pick to click portion. Let's get to last week. And I'm going to pull them up here at the bottom of the screen.
I'm just going to remove myself from this conversation. You three all picked some great players. And Joe picking Cesar Hernandez, Gonzo taking Jose Abreu, and Vinny taking Eloy Jimenez. I picked no one. Cover that up on the screen. I didn't make a pick last week.
You definitely didn't pick Gavin Sheets last week. Is that what you're saying?
No, I absolutely did not pick Gonzo's dud of the week.
All three of them could be argued as the winner too.
They really could be. Like, that's what's really impressive to me.
Like, me and Gonzo had our little fun before the show started about who won, but like Cesar Hernandez, he had a really good week too.
Well, and the impressive part with Hernandez is how about, jumping to a division rival and just picking up right where you left off.
Yeah.
It's really impressive what he's done so far, both in the field and at the plate. This guy is exactly like, I was not happy with the trade when it happened. I was like, really? We're talking Trevor Story. We're talking, God, I don't even remember the other names that were mentioned at this point. But I mean, it's just all these names that came up, and I was like, this guy? Really? This guy?
Eduardo Escobar, Adam Frazier, Trevor Story even was a
Frazier. That was the one. Yeah. But I mean, he's turned out to be exactly the guy that the Sox needed.
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't give up much to get him. So that was my pick. He went 5 for 20, 250, 2 homers, 3 ribbies, 5 walks, which is impressive, and 4 runs scored. Gonzo took Jose, who had, like I said, great week, over 300, 3 homers, 5 ribbies, 6 runs. But our boy Vinny went with Eloy, 7 for 22, hit 318, 2 homers, 6 ribbies, and a walk. Hi, Mom.
Thanks, Cubs.
I won Vinny his second pick to click, and he's on the road back. And Zim didn't pick anyone, so we won't talk about it.
Zim literally picked a guy in AAA right now.
He's literally in AAA as we speak.
That's why he's in AAA, because Zim picked him.
He'll be back.
I know he'll be back. So with the updated standings now, I'm sitting with 5 wins out of whatever 21. What is this, episode 21? I think so. So I'm 5 out of 21. You got Zim with 4 out of 21. Gonzo with 10 out of 21. And then Vinny, I'd say, how many shows have you been with us, Vinny? Do you have any idea? 10?
8, 9?
It's more than that. You came on the week before my son was born, and he's 12 weeks now, so 13 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So it's about 11 or 12 weeks for sure. So Vinny got his 2nd out of 12, which is a pretty good, pretty good thing right there. So with that said, Vinny's the winner, so he gets to pick first this week. Vinny's going to take advantage of this because he hasn't had first pick in quite some time. So Vinny, who are you taking as your pick to click heading into this week?
I am going to go with a guy that is starting to get really hot. I'm not going to take Eloy again. I can't do that in good faith. I am going to take Tim Anderson because Tim Anderson, apparently, the word on the street is he was about to not play yesterday. And then he and Frank Menechino discovered something in the batting cages that TA really liked. I don't know if it was the way he was turning his hands or, the way he felt about pitches on the inside, because guys have been throwing him inside hard a lot because most of his home runs are oppo these days. And sure enough, they insert him back into the lineup at like a late ad. Poor Leary Garcia. You hated to see him come out. He hit the home run on the first pitch of the ball game. And sure, it was an opposite field home run, but tonight comes back, works a nice little count in the first at bat of the game. Boom. Hits one, he pulls one. So he is enjoying something that he figured out on Sunday. Hopefully it keeps up. And that's my pick to click of the week, Tim Anderson, TA7.
I love it.
3 for 5 in tonight's game.
Yeah.
3 for 5 in tonight's game. Like, whatever he found, it's working right now. We'll see if it keeps up.
Mm-hmm. That's what baseball is. They're going to adjust back. He's got to adjust back, and it's baseball.
All right, well, Zim, we're going to let you go next because you are next in the standings. So who are you going to go with for your pick to click?
Wow, you're going to put me on the spot like this. I was really hoping you guys would all go first and I'd be left with the scraps so that it would be an easier choice. Because right about now, a lot of guys on this team are getting hot. I want to take Goodwin, but I feel like, he's at the back end of his hot streak at the moment.
Sure.
His first week back, these guys seem to be doing pretty well when they're coming back from injury right now. So I'm going with Luis Robert. I think he's going to make a big impact for this team right away. He'll have tonight under his belt to get comfortable. So tonight's game, doesn't count. He's back against full speed and everything. And yeah, he apparently killed it in his rehab assignment too. That is one thing I want to point out. He was launching some balls. He was hitting left and right. He really, really impressed down at AAA in his rehab assignment. So I think he's going to come back and not miss a beat and just start launching some in the next few days here.
I'm with you, man. I love the pick. And that brings up me next. And I am going to go with, I'm just going to go with the guy that's swinging a real hot bat, a guy that's on my fantasy team who I picked up like weeks ago to stash him. That's Eloy Jimenez. I feel like he's going to continue with that streak, continue to stay hot against the Yankees. I think Eloy is going to send one into the corn on Thursday night. I can't wait to watch that. Yeah. He'll say, "Hi, Mom," and then he'll take some popcorn and hang out there with all those guys out there and in the cornfield just like this. "Hi, Mom." So I'm going to go with Eloy as my pick to click for this week. He keeps the hot bat smoking hot. He swings it and a bunch of popcorn comes out. I mean, that's how it's going to be down there on Thursday. So that's what I'm going to go with. Gonzo, what do you got?
Guys are leaving me with the scraps. I love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, the reigning MVP is definitely scraps.
Multiple all-stars to choose from.
Yeah, I'm going to not pick a batter, actually. I'm going to go with a pitcher here. Since you guys leave me with interesting options here to compete with you all. I'm going to go with Lucas Giolito. Another 2-starter this week. 1 start tonight, 1 on Sunday, probably. And, we'll see if he can complete another second start versus the Yankees. So it's a ballsy pick. But I'm going to go Lucas Giolito. And so far, I'm on the right foot.
Yeah, so we're going to go with a quick recap here. Gonzo's going with Giolito. Vinny going with Tim Anderson, TA7. Zim's going with the newly returned Luis Robert La Pantera. And I'm going to go with Hi Mom, Eloy Jimenez. Lots of great options here. It's going to be fun one to watch.
Does tonight's game
who
count?
Wins.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
He's already got.
I think you should.
7.5 innings under
All
his belt.
4 of those guys have been sweet in this game.
Then we'll count it.
Sure. I'm down.
That's an even playing field. We'll keep it that way.
Oh, that's crazy. Did we do that on purpose?
I did not.
No.
I saw Robert.
Yeah.
I saw Robert coming back yesterday, like officially was happening today. And I was like, I want him as my pick this week. And this was decided 24 hours ago.
Zim's thinking about this show in his sleep.
Well, yeah.
I do.
It's true. All of it. But Gonzo, why don't you set it up? But we're going to go into your favorite portion of the show in a segment we like to call
White Sox Weekly.
That's right. We're talking about the week coming up. And Gonzo, why don't you take it away? Talking probable pitchers and matchups here heading into the week. Obviously, we got the game going on right now. Giolito versus Burrows. That's a bit of a smoke show, so we'll move on to the next one. But let's check out Tuesday.
Aye, Captain. So, as you can all see tonight, we saw the home run derby that the Sox did at Target Field here with Giolito and Burrows. Giolito has only allowed 1 hit through 7 when I last checked, with 7 Ks, and we won't even talk about Burrows because Sox are up 10-0. Tomorrow, Keuchel and Jax. I don't know too much about Griffin Jax, so I can't tell you anything insightful with him other than what's shown on the screen. Rough ERA for him, and Dallas Keuchel, he's actually a guy that I was going to mention in Adam Dud the week, not because he had a bad week last week. because he only gave up 2 earned runs versus the Royals, but we still lost the game 3-2 because the offense didn't pull for him, sadly. But he's a guy that needs to keep gaining consistency as we go through this rough stretch here in the next week and a half, and then on our way to Sextober. And we're giving him a lot of money, 18 million a year for next 2 years at least, I believe. But he's a guy that I don't want to regret on the tail end of his contract. But we definitely could need that playoff experience that he has on his resume. But then game 3 is going to be Lynn and Obar. I don't know how you want to say it. Obar. Obar is I think he's like 6'10"-ish. He's a tall guy on the mound. Wow. And yeah, he's got an interesting like side. He doesn't come all the way over the top. It's kind of like 3/4 for a 6'10" guy, which slows down a little reaction time for the hitters. But we've seen him, I think this is going to be the 4th time we've seen him this year. I want to say 3rd or 4th time, because I know that when I was landing in San Diego, he was on the mound and I was watching him on my flight down landing. But yeah, let's be real. I just want to watch us sweep these fools of ours. And I remember a time when we actually worried about them, but now I don't. So I'm happy to say that we don't have to face Nelson Cruz this series. He's in Tampa Bay. So now I can smile. We can all smile and enjoy this series. And then to begin the amazing weekend series, game 1 Thursday will be in Iowa, Field of Dreams that we've been talking about. And then games Saturday and Sunday are going to be, guaranteed rate. But Thursday's game, right now, it says that Andrew Heaney is going to be on the mound, but I don't believe that one bit. I believe that Garrett Cole will come back and after COVID and square off versus Carlos Rodon. That's going to, or I should go back 1 second here. Tonight's matchup, I think that was game of the series just because I want to see Giolito bounce back. But going into this series with the Yankees, I know that this is going to be the game of the series. And for the Field of Dreams game, 2 Cy Young candidates going at it, Cole and or likely with Cole and Rodon.
There's no way they're throwing out Heaney. He's not been that great this year, and putting him out on national TV in a special highlighted game like that's just not happening.
Someone tried to put down Rodon being named the starter. I couldn't disagree more. Like, that means something. Like, they reset the rotation like a week before on purpose.
Yep, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would be okay with I would like to see Lance Lynn in that game. But I'm not going to argue with Rodon either.
Well, I'm not saying like Rodon is the most deserved. Like Lynn and Cease, even Giolito, they all kind of deserve it. They've been the best rotation in the league. I'm saying like Tony put thought into who was starting that specific game, in my opinion.
And following up on that, Vinny, which one of these 5 guys doesn't deserve to start that game? I think he went with Rodon because Rodon, he statistically speaking has the number one thing you can point to and say he's been the best this year, and that's he threw a no-hitter that was nearly a perfect game. If it wasn't for that, I think it would be a much harder decision. But as far as national audiences are concerned, Rodon's the guy.
And how he got here too probably made him feel good.
He's got a story.
Everybody loves it.
If it was me, I'd still go with Lynn by the numbers and everything. He's beating Rodon right now.
He is. But, and he has all season.
If it was actually me, I'd probably actually push back. Game 3, I would actually probably start Ronaldo Lopez if it were me, and then, bump everything back with Lynn, Los, and then Cease, or not Cease, with Giolito. But now I get to see Cease for game 2, so that helps my pick to click. So I'm actually okay with this. Go ahead, Joe. I see that you got something going on there, but I'll continue.
It's all good, man. I just wanted to say, I'm looking forward to Field of Dreams more than I think anyone can think of, and I'm just personally looking forward to Thursday night. It's going to be a great moment, and I can't wait to watch it. But we're going to go ahead and skip the guaranteed take this week, guys. We're going to go ahead and pick up a new one next week. But we do want to do something fun before we close things out here.
Okay, finish it real
we're
quick.
going to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Saturday, Cease, Heaney came from LA in a trade. We see him already. That'll be an interesting game. Sunday, Giolito and Talone. And then Polanco's the guy to watch for Minnesota, Judge for New York. Go ahead, Joe.
No, it's all good, man. It's going to be something fun to watch this weekend, and Vinny and I will be there on Sunday to bring it all home.
Just one small note, one minor note. Gleyber Torres and Anthony Rizzo both out for the Yankees. Those are two big pieces that are going to be potentially pivotal in this upcoming series. All right, Joe, let's move it on.
No, it's all right. We wanted to talk before we get out of here about our favorite sports movie quotes, just because it's great stuff with the Field of Dreams movie. Of course, everyone loves that. So I'm going to go ahead and play a quick clip, and then we'll do a quick once around, and then we'll get out of here. So they're going to be in various orders. We'll talk about our favorites after this, but here's a small little video clip of the South Burbs Hitmen's favorite movie quotes. So let's take a look at this.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
One game. If we played them 10 times, they might win 9. But not this game. Not tonight. Tonight, we skate with them. Tonight, we stay with them. And we shut them down because we can. Tonight, we are the greatest hockey team in the world. You were born to be hockey players. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. I'm sick and tired of hearing about what a great hockey team the Soviets have. Screw them. This is your time.
Oh, no! We suck again! Oh, no! We suck again! Oh, no! We suck again!
Ray, people will come, Ray. They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around, you'll say. It's only $20 per person. They'll pass over the money without even thinking about it. For it is money they have, and peace they like.
Ray, just sign the papers.
And they'll walk out to the bleachers. And sit in shirt sleeves on a perfect afternoon. They'll find they have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines. Where they sat when they were children and cheered their heroes. And they'll watch the game. And it'll be as if they'd dipped themselves in magic waters. The memories will be so thick, they'll have to brush them away from their faces.
Ray.
Absolutely amazing stuff there. Some of our favorite movie quotes, sports movie quotes of all time. Mine in that clip was from Rocky Balboa. It ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's just, it's just a powerful statement, and it's just one that's kind of stuck with me. through my entire life, and I love all the Rocky movies, but Rocky Balboa is one of those ones that really hits home. So that was one of my favorites. Gonzo, I could toss it to you to talk a little bit about Miracle.
Yeah, no, just an overall great movie with the portrayal of Team USA with Herb Brooks. I know when we talked about favorite sports movies, I brought up Miracle, and I gave that speech or stated it on camera for you all. But it's not even just that one. There were so many other good speeches he gave in that movie that was good. With the name on the front is more important than the name on the back. That quote, and then. When he called out, I forgot who it was, one of the players with he ruptured something in his leg, and then he called it just a bruise and got the whole locker room fired up. But yeah, just a lot of great quotes in that movie, and it's on Disney Plus, and always great to watch it. And yeah, Joe, I actually like yours too, though. Tough times in life, it's always great to stick to those motivational videos or whatnot to keep the mindset positive. So definitely enjoyable movies for sure.
Absolutely, man. And of course I'll toss it to Zim to bring it more lighthearted and talk a little bit about the Water Boy.
Look, I was real torn on my decision here, mostly because it's been a while since I've seen a whole lot of sports movies other than Space Jam. That's life with kids, though. So, The Water Boy is a classic. And I feel like, that, oh, no, we suck again, applies to Chicago fans quite a bit. Regardless of what team you root for, within 2 or 3 years, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and go, oh, no, we suck again. Sorry, Cubs fans. It's your turn. I'm not sorry.
Yes. Sorry, not sorry, right? Well, that's all right, Zim. I like it giving us the lighthearted turn, but let's toss it back over to Vinny. Go ahead, Zim. You got one more thing?
I was just gonna say that's probably verbatim what I said when the Bears made the move for Andy Dalton. I was legitimately so upset. I, especially after they lost the playoff game to the Saints. I kind of had a breakdown after that game where I was like, my kids are gonna understand that the Bears suck by the time that they don't suck again. And then they go out and have this awesome offseason, and I'm all fired up for football season again. That starts in 4 days.
1 month
sneaking up,
today,
no doubt.
the regular season starts.
I don't care about regular season. Football is on my TV on Saturday.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If Javon Wims doesn't drop that pass, we might be holding another week of disappointment potentially.
No shot.
It is what it is. But let's get over to Vinny for his favorite movie quote. And of course, it ends with the game that's coming up on Thursday, and that's Field of Dreams. Talk a little bit about your connection to that movie, Vinny.
Yeah, for sure. I really like Gonzo's pick. Obviously, I'm a hockey guy just as much as I am a baseball guy. They're my 2 favorite hobbies in the world. So Miracle's right there for me. Shout out Herb Brooks and Team USA. We get another crack at it this upcoming winter, so we'll see what happens. That Canadian team's going to be damn good, though. Pisses me off. I chose Field of Dreams as my 1B, 1A, whatever you want to call it. I love it so much. I mean, we're all White Sox guys. The White Sox and the Yankees, as we know, are playing on Thursday. They're the 2 big-time teams in the movie.
Yep.
Because of the fact that the reason Ray Kinsella was a White Sox fan was because he wanted to be unlike his father, because he couldn't root for the Brooklyn Dodgers because they moved out of town. And just the connection it has with family. And, we've all played catch with our dads, most of us. Some of us can no longer, for those of you, I'm sure Thursday will be a great day for you to recall those great moments in your life. And, that's just what it means to me. I can't say enough about Field of Dreams. I mean, I was thinking about this today. How dumb does Mark, Ray Kinsella's brother-in-law, look now? People literally are showing up to the actual field in real life. Yep. What a complete dummy that guy is. But, I mean, just when you see all the players in the old school jerseys, when Terrence Mann gives the speech, which was the quote that I used, he's talking about how America changes, and it's always changing. It's always evolving. We've seen it a lot, especially in the last year or so. It's just things change drastically in this country. And one thing that has always remained is this right here, baseball. We've always had it.
Yep.
We always will. And that's what the Field of Dreams kind of represents, like Shoeless Joe Jackson to Mickey Mantle to Jackie Robinson. Then there was, Frank Thomas. Now we got guys like Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, it's all over the spectrum of baseball for me. So I love that movie.
It's a hell of a time to be alive, and baseball is one of those healing things, and especially on the south side of Chicago this year. So I agree with you there, Vinny. And of course, it's a great movie on top of it. So lots of great choices from all these guys. It's been a blast of a night. I got to give a huge thank you to our guest, Alyssa Bergamini, of course, the stadium host for your Chicago White Sox. And she always brings it. She was a dynamite guest. And, before we get the shout-outs, I just want to thank the three of you guys for always doing this show. It's a blast every single week. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And Vinny, can't wait to catch the Yankees game with you on Sunday. That's going to be a blast. But I'll go ahead and toss it to Gonzo first for shout-outs. What do you got, Gonzo?
I'm gonna shout out Chubbs for always keeping things interesting and sparking the chat with us. Even with the Cubs guy, we appreciate you jumping on and keeping things interesting. Adam Sham, I know he always tweets us out on Twitter, I feel like every single week, and he deserves a shout out as well. I think that's really about it as far as other Twitter people. And really thank you everyone in the chat coming out lately. We've had a lot of interesting shows over the past couple of weeks, stemming from, Ozzy Jr. to Alyssa, just really everyone in between. We hope to keep on keeping you guys entertained here as we dwindle down the second half here. I'm also going to give a shout out to Yohan Moncada. He just blasted one deep to center, like Eloy deep there. He's starting to heat up from the right side there. But then I'm going to give my last shout out to the one and only my girlfriend Soraya. I feel like I have to shout her out every week here, as you guys are the ones that keep me entertained. For the podcast, but she, in my sparing time with all the stress lately, she's been helping me through it, and I need all my support. I'm going through what I'm going through. So I appreciate it, Soraya, and most importantly, you guys too as well. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you too. Zim, you're up next, man. What you got for shout outs?
Everybody watching who supports us. This is a lot of fun, and the reason it is not only because of the three wonderful co-hosts that I have here, but because of the people that watch and give us their input and interact with us when we're not on the air too. It goes a long way. It makes me feel like we're not just talking into the oblivion here, so I appreciate that. Shout out to Ryan Pace, man. Ryan Pace took what could have been a really, really bad off season and made me so excited to see football on my TV in 4 days. And I know I was just talking about it, but this is really something I was thinking about, man. I went from being more bummed out than I have ever been about an upcoming football season to being about as excited as I can remember being in the span of the last few months. It's been such a roller coaster off season. And the fact that the White Sox have been doing so well in the interim it's been such a great summer. It's been a great summer to be a Chicago sports fan, unless you're rooting for that minor league team 8 miles north. But you can't win them all, I guess, right? We're not allowed to have 5 good teams in Chicago. It's
until Nagy says, "Hold my beer," and disappoints you.
Yeah.
And how about Bowman for the job he's been doing with the Blackhawks lately too? It's just, I don't know. It's got me excited. It's got me as a casual excited. And even AK with the Bulls, this offseason for all 3 of those Chicago teams that are not currently active, so shout out to the GMs in Chicago. How about that?
There you go.
How about that?
Zim covering all the bases there. I like it. And Vinny, what do you got for shout outs?
Yeah. So this week I'll go in a different direction. I try to pick people new every week because, of course, it's always my mom, dad, and brother. They're the reason I am where I am. It's been a great summer for me in terms of the baseball and all that. Away from baseball, it hasn't been so great. So a lot of people have really helped me through. And this week, my good friend Jake Valenti and my cousin Nick Wayne, I went to a game at Guaranteed Rate Field last week with both of them. And then we went over to Wrigley on Saturday and hit up a game. Shout out Kayla and Jessica as well. We had a blast at Wrigley, watched the White Sox pound the Cubs. So Jake and Nick especially, you guys are my best friends and looking forward to another big weekend. We got Green Day coming up too. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
2 games this weekend at Guaranteed Rate Field. Come say hello. And, of course, always make sure you listen to Crosstown Crosstalk and Bar Down on the Barroom Network later this week with me and Joey, where we're going to be having some fun with the Chicago sports balls.
There you go, man. Love it, Vinny. And speaking of other shows on the Barroom Network, of course, tomorrow night you got Dan and Aldo Bare Their Souls. Hang out for that. Wednesday, you have the perspective of Gaines. The Gaines Report is going to be on the air. I'll be producing that, directing it behind the scenes. And, of course, all your other great Barroom Network shows, the Mike North Advantage. You had the Barfly Tailgate Show on Sunday. Fantasy Football Goon, my fantasy show, is coming back very soon. It's going to be absolutely dynamite. Gonzo's putting up his finger. What do you got?
I believe we got the draft coming up on Saturday too for the Barroom. Is that right?
We do. Our fantasy
that's
draft.
that's going to be live for our viewers too, I believe.
That's right. This upcoming Saturday, what the heck is this Saturday? The 21st?
14th.
They're looking at the wrong week. Yes, this Saturday is the Barroom Draft at 8 p.m. Central Time. That's going to be streaming here on the Barroom Network as well. You can watch the fantasy draft and all that fun stuff. See how everyone does, all the banter. It's a lot of fun. Don't want to miss that. Appreciate the reminder there, Gonzo. Then, of course, we'll be back Monday, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But my shout-out goes to, of course, my wife and my dog, Maverick, my parents, everyone that supports me. And then, of course, I got to give a shout-out to a couple of our loyal listeners, Vincent Tassoni, Gabriel Silva, Ron Ruppnow. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Adam Shawm. These are all guys and people that tune in all the time. We appreciate you and everyone else. Travis, of course. Thanks for always tuning in. Frank Parisi, the whole gang that was here tonight. We appreciate you more than you will ever know. And of course, last but not least, Alyssa Bergamini, great guest and huge honor to have her on the show again. But guys, it's been a dynamite show. We're looking forward to the Field of Dreams coming up on Thursday. For the South Burbs Hitmen, I'm Joe Mandel. The guy above me is Chris Gonzalez. To the left, that's Zim. And the top left, that's Vinny Parisi. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hi, Mom. And we'll go ahead and we'll see you next week. Go White Sox.